Flensberger Frühlingsbock.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Yet another Maibock. I'm not going to lie to you, I've had a few. This is the offering from the Flensburger Brewery. Now they are a very good brewery indeed, and I've had quite a few of their beers and I've yet to have a bad one from them. I do remember years ago when I used to frequent what was the place called? The Katzenjammer in South London. This was one of the beers that I used to go to if I'd had quite a bit. Not this one, sorry, it was the Pilsner. It was a typical North German Pilsner and it was done in 330ml bottles. So if I'd had a lot to drink and I was in a round, you know me, I'm never one to turn down a beer. I would have one of their Pilsners, and you really could taste the difference in flavour from all the Bavarian stuff. This is typical North German, and there's a reason for that. Recently discovered, and I must admit this is a new one to me, I didn't ever, it never really registered with me, and it never really registered why the UK does grow some fantastic malt. And the reason is because apparently, according to the old boffins in the laboratories, the best malts are grown in a maritime environment. And of course Flensburg, if you look at it on the map, if you look at a map of Denmark and you look immediately below it, the part of Germany, Schleswig-Holstein, that's where Flensburg is, and of course it's a coastal region. They've quite a cold and damp atmosphere in there, so the water is very I wouldn't say hard, but it's different from Bavarian water. In fact, they make a big thing about using glacial water as well, which of course is going to be pure, it's frozen. But as I say, I've not had a bad one from them, and I have to say that their Doppelbock, they do them in 330ml bottles. I don't think I've seen 500ml bottles. They're all small bottles. But they do a winter bock, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm hoping that this stuff is going to be as good, because that winter bock for me, only in a small bottle, it was just bursting with flavour. And I'm hoping this stuff is as well. Now, as I say, I've had a few tonight. I'm in the Maibock season. It's now April the 21st. Wasn't that Hitler's birthday, or was it the day he killed himself? I don't know. It's got something to do with Hitler. But all I'm going to say is, I've never seen Hitler and Charlie Chaplin in the same room. So all Hitler's films were crap and Charlie Chaplin was a shit general. But there you go. Now, one thing I will say about Flensburger, they are quite widely available over here. They're Pilsner, and they do a gold as well. I have to say I prefer the Pilsner to the gold. The gold is slightly more expensive, but for me the standout beer was, as I say, the Winterbock. That was superb. I really did enjoy this. Never had this stuff before. My mate Norby came over. I met him in Canterbury, which is just down the road from me, and he gave me 2 big crates full of beer. Very thoughtfully, he put in a lot of Maibock, because that is the seasonal beer in Germany at the moment. As I say, this is April, so this is the offering from Flensburg, and I'm really looking forward to this, because as it goes now, I've tried the Hofbrau, which for me was it was 7.2%. So I really shouldn't be saying this, but if you wanted to drink Maibock all day long, for me that would be the one. It was very drinkable, but for fuck's sake, it was 7.2%. You are going to end up in serious trouble, either in A&E, in a police cell, or even worse. And I'm not going to go into the even worse, because it will probably get me banned from YouTube. But you get what I'm saying. But this stuff, I'm really looking forward to it because I do like what Flensburger do. So let's shut up and let's get this investigated. Right, as I said, it's a 330ml bottle. It's 6.9%. That's a perfect ABV for Maibock. The characteristics, as I always say on these videos, or for Maibock when I'm reviewing it, it's got an amber colour, it's high in ABV, it's very full-bodied, and it's a seasonal beer in Germany. This sell-by date is 2023, so this is good for a year. Personally, I think with that high ABV, it's probably good for a little bit longer. It's not going to taste very bad indeed. Good thing about it is it's in a brown bottle. The Einbock, or Einbeck, Einbock, I've got fucking Bock on the brain. The Einbeck stuff, that was, for me, probably it encapsulated the true flavour of the Maibock style of beer, and they are renowned for being the originators of the style Einbeck. That's the first beer I've had from Einbeck as well. They're very hard to find over here, but if you can, get that stuff. That is brilliant. This stuff, never tried it before, really looking forward to it. 6.9%. No brew sheet, unfortunately, on the website, so I can't tell you what's in there. They do make a big thing about using glacial water from it. That could be hard water, it could be soft water, I don't know, but that's what they do. There's the cap, nice flip top cap, as is characteristic of the Flensburger stuff. For fuck's sake, this autofocus is starting to do my nut in there. There you go. And they make a big thing about the green thing. It's the herbal. It's that old herbal chestnut where, you know, spring, of course, you got all the flowers budding and all that. It's the first crop of the hops, etc. So, yeah, there we go. Flip top bottle. Let's get it open. Let's see what's going on. Oh yes, plop. They make a big thing about that in Germany. That's the sound it makes. It has a completely different connotation, that word, over in the UK. I'm not going to go into it because you may be drinking or eating watching this. But there you go, nice handy. Oh, very lively. Is that going to fizz up? Yes, right on my leg, you little bastard. Shit. Right, just let that calm down a little bit. Get the last dregs in there. Let's get the aroma. Oh, now this. You can tell the regions in Germany. This is typical North German. Very, very hoppy. The first whiff that comes out from there is just pure noble hop. Spicy, peppery, herbal. And it's got like a bitter aroma to it. But you do get, and this is going to be a contradiction in terms, there is a little bit of underlying sweetness from the malt there as well. The colour, that's quite a light coloured Maibock from the last two that I've tried. They've been like a deep amber copper colour. This could almost pass for a Helles. It's quite light, but the flavour, very herbal, quite spicy, black pepper, grassy. A little hint of sweetness, but this is all about the hops, as a good Maibock should be. So, without further ado, let's get it down my fat Gregory Peck. Prost, as they say in Germany. Wow, that's really nice. Oh, that is good. That is really good. And I think maybe this just shades the Einbeck stuff. Oh, that is so good. lovely grassy herbal notes, bitter herbal notes on the palate, and then a nice sweetness on the finish. Now that's characteristic of what I've been getting from the Hofbrau was quite sweet all the way through, and that's typical Bavarian. That is, I just think that's a characteristic of Bavarian beer. That liquid bread, you get it on the palate. The North German stuff I always find interesting because they do make a big emphasis of, especially in their Pilsners and in the Maibocks as well. The Einbeck stuff, well, could you call that North German? Arguably, it's Lower Saxony. This stuff, I don't think it comes much northern than Flensburg, but this is really nice. And I'm wondering whether it's better than the Einbeck stuff because this is really good. Oh, it's really nice. It's really nice. 6.9%. Again, not much of that ethanol. Now, if you taste some Belgian beers of a lesser ABV, you'll get quite a lot of ethanol on it. Not getting much on that at all. This is just pure noble hop, bitterness and herbal notes on the palate. And then the finish is a lovely, sweet, malty finish. Very similar to the Pilsner as well. And very similar to their Winter Bock, which was, well, the Winter Bock was sweet and fruity all the way through. This is really nice. I do like this. I'm just going to dive in again. Again, I'm finding with these Maibocks, there is a Pilsner-like bitterness on the palate. But unlike the Pilsners, you get a lot of malty sweetness on the finish, and the two just work in tandem with each other. This is really nice, and I really do like this, and I'm seriously considering. I think this is encapsulate the Maibock style really well. The Bavarian stuff, I think, is a tad, well, the Hofbrau stuff, I think, is a tad sweet, very similar to the other beer. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fucking fantastic. And as I said on the review, it's like a session Maibock, if you like. But 7.2, you know, I could quite easily be shot down in flames for saying that's not sessionable. But this is really nice. 6.9%. It's got that perfect balance of bitterness on the palate and sweetness on the finish. And it's really good. And I wouldn't have expected anything less from this lot because they are fucking superb. Well done, Flensburger. You've done a fantastic job there. So, what is the verdict on Flensberger Frühlingsbock? That is really nice, and I'm sort of thinking this is actually nicer than the Einbeck stuff. It's got everything, but it's got it in. I wouldn't say it's got it in moderation, but it's not as extreme as the Einbeck stuff. The Einbeck stuff was full of that hop, that noble hop, bitterness and the herbal and the spicy notes, and then it had the big malty flavours on it. Don't get me wrong, it was absolutely fantastic. It really was. The only drawback was the little bit of skunkiness because of the green bottle. This stuff, on the other hand, is 100%. Obviously no skunkiness because of the brown bottle, but nice hop bitterness on the palate, and then the finish is just that lovely malty flavour. And I'm starting to come round to the idea that the best malts are grown in a maritime region, because some of the best British beers that have got lovely biscuit malts and caramel malt finishes, obviously, well, in fact, I'd go as far as to say all British malt is grown in a maritime region. In Germany, obviously Germany's a bigger country. Flensburg is a coastal, well, it's on the coast, it's near the North Sea, so you've obviously got that maritime climate. and the malt in this is really good. Now you can argue that, yeah, maybe that doesn't really make much difference on a mass produced beer, but whatever they've done, this is fantastic. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the best one so far. Don't get me wrong, the Maibock stuff was really good, and I mean really good. And I think if you want to really get the true Bock style, then Maibock is the one. It's got the flavours, the massive flavours that you would associate with a Maibock. The Hofbrauer stuff, that was just so easily drinkable, really good stuff. But for me, the Flensburger, it's just got everything in the perfect balance, the right amount of flavour combined with the drinkability as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be my number one from now on. That is 10 out of 10. That's definitely recommended if you're into the Maibock style. I urge you, if you've not tried it before, Maibock is, if you're a lager fan as well, it's like lager on steroids. Big body on it, big flavours, big ABV, but it's also got the drinkability. I guarantee you, if you like lager, and if you like pilsners as well, you're going to love this. That for me is 10 out of 10. Definitely recommended. And again, with the Flensburger stuff, not had a bad one from them yet. Really solid German brewer. Really good beers that they do. I guarantee you. The Flensburger Gold, I must revisit that one. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I just tried the Flensburger Pilsner, and for me the Flensburger Pilsner is superb. So yeah, but this one is really good. Recommended, 10 out of 10. Top drawer. And remember, beer is working class champagne.